San Juan. The cobblestone streets, pastel buildings, pirate forts, and piña coladas that seem to fix everything. Except murder, mystery, and fraud. Behind the rhythmic salsa beats and ocean breeze is a much darker rhythm, one that pulses with betrayal, unsolved cases, and secrets the island would rather forget. In this episode, we're lifting the veil on 5 twisted tales buried deep within the history of Puerto Rico's capital. These aren't ghost stories. That's next video. This is real-life true crime, murders that stun the public, mysteries that have never been solved, and schemes so slick, you might start double-checking your lottery tickets. Let's get into it. 1. The Pink Skirt Murder. When love and real estate don't mix. It all began with a real estate tycoon, a beauty queen, and a prenup tighter than a drum. Adam Anhang, a Canadian tech millionaire, moved to Puerto Rico and married Ojeda Ríos, a local socialite with dreams of luxury living. But when the marriage fell apart and Ojeda realized she wouldn't be walking away with much, she allegedly came up with a different exit strategy, one that didn't involve lawyers. On a September night in 2005, she invited Adam to dinner in Old San Juan to discuss the divorce. What followed wasn't dessert. It was a brutal ambush. Adam was stabbed and bludgeoned to death just steps from the restaurant. Ojeda, who was supposedly injured during the attack, played the grieving almost ex. Police initially arrested the wrong man entirely. Oops. But the truth bubbled to the surface like a bad mofongo. Ojeda had offered a hitman $3 million to carry out the murder, using her sister and former lover to help orchestrate the plan. She fled to Italy, gave birth to twins, and lived as a fugitive for nearly a decade, even attempting to use her motherhood as a shield against extradition. The FBI eventually brought her back, and in 2018 she was convicted, along with her accomplices. Justice was served, cold, calculating, and garnished with a side of karma. 2. Gone without a trace. Now for a mystery that's lingered on the island humidity in July. In 1974, 12-year-old John and 11-year-old Giannina Colonna went for a beach day near Luquillo with family friends. They were expected back before sundown. Instead, they vanished, completely, utterly, without a single clue left behind. Authorities scrambled. The beaches were combed, helicopters flew overhead, and the FBI joined the search. But days turned to weeks, and hope slipped away. Then things got weirder. Months later, a man in Florida committed suicide and left behind a note confessing to their kidnapping, allegedly for ransom. But there were no bodies, no proof, and no trail. Just more fog added to an already murky case. Years passed. Theories multiplied. Some believed the children were taken by traffickers. Others suspected someone closer to the family. Despite renewed efforts, reopened files, and internet sleuthing decades later, the Colonna children were never found. In 2012, they were officially declared dead, but on the island, their names are still whispered, 2 shadows from a sunlit day that never ended. 3. When ideals get you killed. Carlos Muñiz Varela wasn't exactly a household name, unless you were into Puerto Rican independence politics and Cuban exile drama. He was a Cuban-born journalist and activist who, in the late 1970s, advocated for open dialogue between Puerto Rico and Castro's Cuba. That idea didn't sit well with certain anti-Castro factions, many of whom believed dialogue was just a polite way to say betrayal. In 1979, Carlos was gunned down outside his mother's home in Guaynabo. 2 shots, one to the chest, one to the head. A group calling itself Comando Cero took credit, and suspicion fell immediately on extremist Cuban exiles. But despite strong leads, no one was ever convicted. And to this day, the case smells strongly of political cover-up. Or maybe just bureaucratic incompetence, with a dash of denial. In 2025, pressure from the public finally led to the declassification of some FBI files. But even with redacted pages and Cold War intrigue, no arrests have ever been made. Carlos became a martyr to some, a footnote to others. His story is a reminder in Puerto Rico, bullets and ideology have a long, complicated history, and justice can be as elusive as consensus.
4. Filiberto Ojeda Ríos and los Macheteros. Meet Filiberto Ojeda Ríos, revolutionary, fugitive, and the man behind one of the boldest heists in U.S. history. In 1983, his group, Los Macheteros, stole $7 million from a Wells Fargo depot in Connecticut, then disappeared like a magician in a guayabera. Filiberto was caught, released on bond, and did what any romantic outlaw would do: cut off his ankle monitor and vanish into the mountains. For 15 years, he lived off the grid, releasing manifestos and avoiding FBI dragnets. Then, on September 23, 2005, Puerto Rico's Independence Day no less, the FBI found him. A standoff ensued. Filiberto allegedly fired first, wounding an agent. The FBI fired back, hitting him in the lung. But here's where it gets truly dark. They waited nearly 24 hours to enter the house. By then, he was dead. The reaction? Explosive. Protests erupted. Was it justice or assassination? Depends who you ask. To some, Filiberto was a terrorist. To others, a resistance icon. Either way, he remains a symbol of Puerto Rico's tangled relationship with rebellion, colonial legacy, and the blurred line between freedom fighter and felon. 5. Play to win, cheat to profit. And now for the ultimate plot twist: crime disguised as luck. For years, Puerto Rico's government lottery seemed like a beacon of hope, a ticket to a better life. Turns out, it was also a golden gateway for drug lords to wash their cash. In the 2010s, the lottery quietly hemorrhaged millions. Investigators eventually discovered that criminal organizations were buying winning tickets before the drawings even happened. Inside help made it easy. Cartels would launder drug money by purchasing winning stubs from addicts or stooges, then collecting clean government checks. Bonus points. Some even performed spiritual rituals to boost their lottery energy. That's right, voodoo meets white-collar crime. Eventually, the FBI busted open the ring. Dozens were arrested, and the lottery's reputation was permanently stained. One agent described it as the least subtle laundering operation in the Caribbean. But hey, who needs crypto when you've got rigged scratch-offs and friends in high places? So, the next time you're sipping a mojito in old San Juan, remember, that same street might have hosted a murder for hire, a political hit job, or a lottery scam that funneled cash to drug runners. Paradise? Sure. But paradise has a shadow. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into San Juan's darkest secrets. Which story gave you chills? Drop it in the comments. Don't forget like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because in the next video, we're diving into ghosts, curses, and supernatural legends that stalk Puerto Rico after dark. And trust us, some of them are still watching.